I guess the question to ask myself is, am I mad for doing this? Or is this going to cause my madness? Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nikki Starr, and today we are announcing that I am doing Milwordy. Kind of. Maybe. So I am pretty late to this announcement, but in fairness, I didn't decide that I was going to do it until the day before. For anyone that doesn't know, Milwordy is a challenge that's currently happening in some AuthorTube circles. That from September 1st to August 31st of next year, you will try and write 1 million words. What that means for people is a little bit more individual, so there are some videos going around, and I think Kate Kavanagh has a playlist on her channel of all the Milwordy videos, so you can go through and have a look at what other people are attempting. So, am I attempting a full Milwordy 1 million words in a year? Kind of. I have a plan that would allow for this to happen, but one of my bigger writing goals in general is just try and be kinder to myself with what I set myself and what I expect. So I have like the main goal of 1 million, that would be grand. I have essentially a minimum goal, so I'd like to get 250,000 as a minimum. I think that's really kind of achievable for me. And then I've got a middle goal, which is not a half mil. Because I don't do normal numbers. My middle goal will be 600,000. Don't ask me why. I was doing some maths with some of my books and I thought that'd be my middle goal. So essentially I have a plan for if I am not looking like I will hit the million and need to pull back and be like a little bit nicer to myself. I have other goals that I can hit and still feel like I have succeeded at doing it. So kind of linked in with this is the idea of my process, so that you guys kind of know roughly where I'm going with it. I am a plantser. I'm not sure I like the word plantser. First things first, I outline and then I zero draft. And I am aware that for some people that's a very, very, very strange concept, to outline essentially what is your trying things out draft, but I do. Then I put it down for at least 3 months. Sometimes longer, preferably longer. I think in my current plan, or I think in the plan I had before I had to replan for Milwordy, I was intending to give everything a year in between, at least, if not in some cases 2. It's a very strange plan, which is kind of why I'm looking at doing Milwordy, to speed some of this up. So after I've left it for a good period of time, I'll reread it, and while I'm rereading I'll make notes on the kind of things I want to change. So primarily sort of big developmental edits, sometimes character arc issues or motivation issues or massive plot holes. Anything where I think that needs like a big rethink in the way the structure of this works, that goes in this first sort of note taking. And then I rewrite it from scratch. I am aware that this means writing a lot extra words that I probably could have done if I had spent more time in the outlining first and not done the zero draft, but I prefer it so much. The drafting is half the fun. I'm not a big fan of the outlining. I need it. I know I need to have the structure, but the actual doing, like actually making the outline, it's no fun. From that point on, I haven't actually got any further than what I would consider to be a first draft, which is that rewrite from scratch. I'm hoping during this Milwordy to get to a second draft, so my thinking for that would be just to reread it, make some notes, and hopefully I won't need to make big changes. I can look at like scene level changes and essentially revise rather than rewrite. That would be preferable. So my current plan to get to the million would mean completing 9 drafts, which is extremely exciting. I think that would be amazing for a year for me. I tend to do maybe 3. I would be able to zero draft my Space Pirates series from book 4 to book 6. They would all be able to go to 0 drafts, because at the moment I haven't written them at all. And I should be able to get my Space Pirates books 1 to 3 to draft 2, which would also be very exciting because I've never got to a draft 2 before. Usually I give up on the idea by that point. And I should be able to work on a standalone and both 0 draft it and get it through to a draft 1, which, if I could manage all of that, would be amazing progress. But it does mean that for some months I will be essentially drafting a lot more than a NaNoWriMo. And I know that the idea of the Milwordy gives you more than a NaNoWriMo in a month, but that idea is still terrifying me. I'm slowly building myself up. This month is a little bit easier, and I'm trying to make it so later when I'm rereading big chunks of work I I can use those words and then it'll be a bit easier. What am I actually counting? Because this seems to be something that does vary quite a bit from people that are doing Milwordy. I'm not going to include any words that I write for my 9-to-5 job, any emails that I do. I don't journal or anything, but if I start doing journaling, I might consider putting that into the words. At the moment, my Milwordy will be entirely fiction, which is scary. I'm going to be counting any words that I outline, any words that I draft, any words that I then reread, any things that I rewrite, and any things that I revise. I have one final thing to cover, and one final question to say to myself, which I'm hoping that I can continue saying over the year to try and keep me motivated. Why am I doing this? As someone who is a little bit word count obsessed, I'm not gonna lie, it is my go-to thing to track. It's my acknowledgement of how productive I've been for a day. I am aware that it kind of rules me. So the idea of having 1 million words in a year just sounds impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to do part of it for that. I also feel like I'm in a weird kind of stage with my writing where I've been writing for years, but I don't feel like I am improving at the rate that I'd like to be. And I think forcing myself to write this much and basically just saying to myself, you just get through it. You have to get the words on the page, you read through it again, you'll find things and issues, you always will. But if I can start getting some things to a draft 2 and feel like I am progressing a little bit more, and becoming a better writer, that's kind of what I want to do with this. Also, the idea of being able to fast draft book 4 to book 6 in the series so I can actually be 100% sure this series works. Or if it's not working, where to tweak it. Because if these 3 books basically start to fall short, because they're the middle chunk of a 9-book series, the more I say that out loud, the less real it feels. So the idea is it's going to be the middle chunk. So if that starts to fall flat or droop down or essentially go really slowly, I'll have to look at the whole structure again. And I think that's worth doing quicker. So if I essentially 0 draft through that, or at least like through a couple of the books and go, this isn't working, something needs to change. I've not spent years working on my first 3 books to then realise that the other 6 are trash. So I think that will be it for me in terms of this sort of an announcement, I guess we could say. If you're doing Milwordy, please do let me know in the comments, and also if you've got a particular why you're doing it, because I think that is something we're going to have to hold on to. A year-long challenge is going to be a lot. We're going to have to be consistently telling ourselves the whys, I think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. That'll do me. That'll do.